Hey everybody, how you doing? Wow, what an incredible, absolutely incredible big game, especially, if you are a graduate of the University of California at Berkeley, as I, master's degree 87, and you were hanging by a thread because you were under the impression that we were going to come away with not just a loss, but we were going to get stomped because that's how it started out. In fact, the game, in a weird way, mirrored Cal's season to a degree. A lot of expectation. We really should have blown them out, given the fact that half Stanford's schedule to date consists of games that they were blown out in. But what happened was that Stanford literally, with plays that they hadn't used before, flipped the script on Cal and everybody and came out just amazing and blasting. I'm still getting photographs from friends like this one, and my friend and her daughter. I'm like, oh, and beautiful. I wish I were there. I have to be here for my mom, and mom and I watched it. So my mom's a Cal fan. I mean, she would be, right? Cal gave me my master's degree. Ta-da! So, but what an incredible game. Let's do a kind of a statistical recap of just what happened. Okay, the end score was Cal 21. Excuse me, what's wrong with me? Stanford 20, Cal 24. Listen to me. Cal 24, Stanford 21, right? And I believe this may be, I don't know that this has to be the greatest comeback in Cal history. I've been to, let's see, 20 big games. I know there's others who've been to more, but I can't remember a big game where we came back maybe from this margin, okay, this deep a margin. We were getting hammered. I mean, no question about it. Stanford schematically came out with its A game. I gave Troy Taylor all the credit he deserves, as much as he also has to take the L for what happened, in terms of eventually engineering a loss. And but the way it stood out was that initially this game started, well, like you see here. Stanford wore it out to a 14-point lead in the first quarter. They finished the first quarter 14-0. We, by the grace of God and Fernando Mendoza, came back to score 7 points in the second quarter. But then we opened the third quarter, and it looked like it was going to be a repeat. It was on its way to being a repeat of the first quarter by Stanford, but eventually it was 7-3. But we stormed back and put 14 on the board in the fourth quarter to edge out the Cardinal, 21 for them, 24 for us. And let's take a look at the yardage statistic, team stats. Total yards. We outgained them, as I expected that we would, 371 to 259. Passing, 299 and 141 for them. Rushing, they beat us 118 to 72. Yards per play, we were a whopping 5.5 versus 3.8. So Stanford really needed an extra touchdown in order to basically lengthen out the time we needed to come back. But their offense relies a bit too much on their running quarterback and not enough on short passing when it's needed. It's not like the classic Bill Walsh style. It's a bit too much the modern kind of let's have our guy be kind of like Lamar Jackson sort of thing, right? Lamar Jackson is not every player, and every player is not Lamar Jackson, including Ashton Daniels. First downs, we have 20, Stanford 14. Third down efficiency, we were 9 of 17, they were 5 of 15. Fourth down, 3 of 5. They like to go for it on fourth down, we were 2 of 3. Total plays, they got up 69 players versus our 68. We punted 3 times, they punted 4 times. Penalties for us, 4, for Stanford 5. Fumbles lost, we lost 1. Interceptions thrown, neither team threw an interception. Time of perceptions, an efficient game if you think about it. Time of possession, Them, because of the run, 33 minutes in a second. Us, 26 minutes and 59 seconds, okay? So we won the statistical battle, and we won it by well over 100 yards. So, and I attribute that to our well-designed passing game and our quarterback, Fernando. I mean, now let's talk about the heroics of the contest, okay? Let's just talk about the stuff that you you have to just sit back and just say wow, right? I mean, the wow for me, okay, was what put that 7 on the board and that four no, excuse me, the 14 on the board in the fourth quarter. And I'll tell you what that was. That was that uh, amazing 98-yard drive. That drive was simply a thing of beauty. No question about it. Because I thought, they were going to start at 2, and I thought Stanford was going to blitz us, uh, and try for the safety, because that's what I would have done if I knew I had my opponent pinned back like that, right? But that's not what the Cardinal did, at all. And then we were also aided by a penalty along, actually 2 pass interference penalties during that drive really helped along. So Stanford's defensive mistakes really paved the way for that 98-yard drive to be completed and for us to score. Because the more mistakes they made, the more our confidence increased, and the better we played. And that was evident. That was completely, absolutely, totally evident. And so you have to go back and think, what would have happened if those plays didn't occur, right? If, let's say Stanford doesn't let's say Stanford doesn't manage to commit those errors, okay? And let's say that they manage not to commit those errors. What then, right? Uh, what would have happened? And it's a fair question to ask. Would we have walked away with a victory like that? Would we? What do you think? I think errors like that, they're part of football, and you've got to really, when you're on defense in particular in situations like that, be careful, because this guy right here is a gunslinger, and he's emotional. He takes his emotion, it translates into play. He plays better. His 60-yard run, which set up our score in the second quarter, really got us juiced. You really could tell that he wanted this thing more than anything. It was like he could taste it, and because he could taste it, we could taste it with him. Fernando Mendoza is Cal's quarterback for the ages, I believe. I really do. Okay, as my friend was saying, I tell you, the game never disappoints. And um, I'm going to put some of these pictures in a later video. But what she's talking about was, I think, when they were burning down the tree. And she says, I tell you, the game never disappoints. Uh, and she's right. My longtime friend, is absolutely right. We both went to Cal together. There's nothing like the big game. And, shame on the ACC for not showing halftime. Shame on the ACC for not giving us the full Cal Stanford big game experience. It's not just another game. And I think Troy Taylor has to answer for what he said during his press conference, when he said that in response to a question, well, really, it's just another game. I don't get caught up in all that, the big game stuff. Well, you should, okay? You should, because if you give off that it doesn't mean anything to you, then your outcome is going to be questioned by many. It's like, well, don't you think that translates into a lesser effort if you think it's just another game? You look at the effort that Cal put into. Look at Fernando Mendoza. Look at his play. Look at his crying at the end. This is the stuff that people talk about. This is the stuff that people remember, okay? This is the stuff that people remember, all right? This is how games are won. This is how the big game is won. And hey, did it help that Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Jackson and Marshawn Lynch showed up? Absolutely. I mean, the stadium was juiced, primed. We were so high that we got low. And because of that, and the Stanford came out with a game plan we didn't expect, and we had to really just dig deep to fight back. And that's precisely what we did. And I say, hey, alumni, go Bears. Go Bears, and thank you very much for Coach Wilcox. We were all critical. We thought we were going to be 5-0. Remember that? So we started 3-0. We fell to Florida State, had no business losing to them. And it just seemed like we couldn't get our sea legs. Even last week. But we found the metal this time. We knew what was at stake. We didn't falter, and we got it. And for that, I say, bravo, Golden Bears. Bravo, Golden Bears. Bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. All right, that's my live stream. I'll see you. Go Bears, everybody.